5 days ago, I visited Rosslyn Chapel, which is located just outside Edinburgh, in Midlothian, in Scotland. And I must say, it's a very intriguing place. It is a chapel, of course. It was built in 1456, although there is confusion as to the date. Some people say it's 1446 that it was started being built, but most historians agree that it was 1456. There's a big confusion there that I'm not going to go into too much detail. And as I said, a very mysterious place. You may recall it from the Da Vinci Code, the film or the book. The book was released in 2003 by the, in my opinion, quite legendary and ingenious author Dan Brown. And the follow-up film was released in 2006, starring the legendary Tom Hanks, starring as Robert Langdon, the main protagonist. And he visits in the film, Robert and his associate, Sophie Neveu, the agent, they visit Rosslyn Chapel at the end of the film, which really drew a lot of attention for the chapel, especially considering the Da Vinci Code was based on the Knights Templar. It reveals a lot of secrets about the Knights Templar and the supposed organisation of the Priory of Zion and the organisation Opus Dei. It's a Catholic organisation. It is supported by the Vatican, but it's really extremist and conservative. Their members supposedly tie barbed wires around their thighs because they want to endure pain. They believe that the measure of how much pain you can withstand is a measure of how much faith you have in God. Which I can see their point, but it's a bit brutal, you have to admit. So, I walked around the chapel, and this was my third visit, my number 3 visit to Rosslyn Chapel. The last time I visited was just over 2 years ago. But now I really came back and I really thought about this place. I thought about its majestic history and the mysteries to be unravelled beneath its floors. It was built by William St. Clair in, as I said before, 1456. And according to history, he built it so that he and his family could celebrate Mass. Holy Mass, of course, Catholicism. And so that he could pray for the deceased members of his family. That's the accepted historical view. But some people pose a different view as to why it was built. Some people believe the Knights Templar built it, and that some secret treasure is hidden deep below. The treasure varies from the Holy Grail to the crucifix to the crowned thorn that Jesus wore around his head as he went to be crucified on Golgotha, on Skull Mountain. The place of the skulls. But whatever's hidden down there, nobody has found it. They say it's very hard to get into the lower vault. It's sealed off apparently. And apparently the underground vault is very high. I mean, you go inside this chapel, you look up at the ceiling, it's, I don't know how much, you can imagine the ceiling of a chapel is pretty high. And apparently, supposedly, the depth of the lower vault is as high as the ceiling from the ground level. That's pretty high. I mean, you'd have to have one hell of a lower vault to be that big.